Hello, everybody. It's me, Shannon LaBruyere. I am live and loving it tonight. Welcome to Sunday Night Live. We are exploring the principles that allow us to thrive in change, to be resilient in the face of the changes that we wanted or the changes that we didn't, the changes we expected, the changes we didn't expect, the changes that we expected that didn't turn out the way we expected. Anybody been there? I have done that. I am so delighted to be able to talk to you tonight and share with you part of my journey. But even more importantly, I want to find out more about your journey. I want to pull a little bit out of you tonight, if you will be so kind as to share, because we are talking about hurdles to helping. What are the hurdles that get in your way that prevent you from walking out your purpose? What prevents you from helping? That's what we're going to explore tonight. And hello to Mary. So glad you are here jumping on live. For those of you who are just popping in, say hi. Give StreamYard permission to use your profile picture, to use your profile. We'll know who you are. Let us know where you're from. If you're new to the Sunday Night Live viewers, then introduce yourself by all means. Oh, Missy, I'm so glad you and Sam are there. Great to have you. Hi, Philip. I'm so glad you're here. Tonight, you guys, our Thrive principle is bring the honor. Because ultimately, when we are talking about our purpose, it's all about honor. It's an honor to be who you are. I'm honored to be able to be who I am with the gifts and the talents and the abilities that I have. And you can bring honor by using your talents, your gifts, your abilities, appreciating who you are, how you were designed, who God made you to be. To me, that is the core of that Thrive principle, bring the honor, is truly appreciating who we are and what we bring to any situation that we're a part of. We bring honor when we are people of honor. So that's our Thrive principle tonight. And we're going to explore that a little more. Let me see. Oh, shout out to our sponsor, Thumb Roast Coffee. You can get Thumb Roast Coffee online, which is amazing. It will be mailed directly to your mailbox, which is very convenient. Take it from somebody who does it monthly, and you will enjoy the world's best coffee. Uh, I'm not lying. It is also roasted by some of the world's best people. And I think those two things are connected. Great people roasting great coffee. And then we've got all kinds of great people drinking it. Many Sunday Night Live viewers and listeners drink Thumb Roast coffee because it's fantastic. So if you want to give it a try, go to thumbroastcoffee.com and use the coupon code THRIVE, THRIVE, 6 easy letters, THRIVE, and you will get 15% off your order, which is amazing. And now's the time to jump in and get that pumpkin spice because it won't be there forever. And it's pumpkin spice season, you guys. Awesome. So make sure you check that out. And thank you, Thumb Roast Coffee, for being sponsors of Sunday Night Live and what we do here. Okay. So I have just had a great week of rediscovering, reconnecting with a really important part of my purpose. And that got me to thinking, what has prevented me from walking in my purpose in the past? And I got to thinking even more, what does that even mean? What does it mean to walk in your purpose? Do you believe that you have a distinct and unique purpose that's uniquely yours? Is that a belief that you hold? I've shared this in the past. It's not going to surprise you, but I do believe that. I believe that I have a purpose, that I was created intentionally with a design, a beautiful design, God's design, and uniquely equipped with gifts and talents and strengths. And I've been uniquely shaped by the experiences that I've had in my life. And I believe that the combination of those things makes me uniquely qualified to do what I do, being me. And you, my friend, are the same. Philip, yes, I believe, he says. Yes, we are uniquely qualified as individuals to do things, to reach certain people, to do good. Regardless of what you believe your talents are, or your abilities, or your strengths, walking in purpose begins with you acknowledging that you are a purposeful creation. You are a purposeful person. And that purpose, I believe, comes from God. God has given us as individuals our unique thumbprints, our unique fingerprints, our unique gifts, talents, abilities, passions, likes, dislikes. And we've come up in a unique way, whatever path our life has been on, so that we are uniquely qualified to do something. What is your something? It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to have an official title. I asked somebody today very sincerely, what are your gifts? She was sharing with me that she appreciated mine. And I said, thank you. And I was truly honored that she would acknowledge that and thank me for sharing my gifts. And I appreciated that. And I was curious because I don't know her well. And I asked, what are your gifts? And she goes, oh, I don't have any gifts. I said, really? I think that's interesting because I see you as having gifts. Well, she says, and you could tell that she realized she might have said the wrong thing to Shannon, the coach, right? Like, maybe I shouldn't have told Shannon I don't have gifts. But she was just being honest. She was being honest. And then when we talked a little bit more, there were some things that she felt like that she was good at, that she was passionate about and loved to do, and that had an impact on people. I wonder, what are your gifts? What what are the things that are uniquely you that make you excited to share? And it matters. It matters a lot that we know what our purpose is. Even there's people who are out there walking in their purpose, acting out their purpose, and they're doing it and they don't have a label for it. They just sort of fell into it. And that's a great thing. But if you haven't fallen into what you're created and designed to do, if you haven't fallen into that, tripped over it, accidentally found out what it was, I want you to know that it's not too late. I spent so many years of my life thinking that I did not have purpose. I thought my purpose was to be, just kind of a jack of all trades. I can do anything, I thought. I can do anything, I said. And that is absolutely true. And I believe it of you as well. You can do anything you put your mind to. Absolutely. But aren't there some things that when you put your mind to them, time flies? So I ask you, what are you putting your mind to? When you do it, time flies by. Or it's so easy for you that you kind of look at everybody else who's, going half the speed and going, well, this is nothing, you guys. Come on, this is a piece of cake. Where in your life do you see your gifts show up? Because that is a clue to your purpose. And the reason why we want to know our purpose is this. And this is the bottom line of tonight's teaching, because we're going to talk about what are the hurdles to helping. Here's the thing. We are all called and designed to help. I want you to think about that. Just let that sink in. You are uniquely qualified to help. We are never more satisfied, more fulfilled, or you name it, happier than when we are genuinely helping somebody else as we're working in our purpose. So, if you know what your purpose is, or that area where you just shine without even knowing it. Carol dropped hers in. Carol says her purpose, the thing that she does, I don't want to say your purpose because that wasn't the question I asked. Carol answered the question, where do you get lost and time flies by and you're doing so much better than everyone else? She says, my work. What a beautiful, beautiful thing when our work and our purpose are the same, right? When we are actually doing work in an area that we're good at and that we're qualified to do and that we find comes to us easily. Doesn't mean that it's always easy, but it comes to us easily. So my Sunday Night Live journey started probably 5 years ago. I've been doing this a long time, you guys. Thank you for hanging with me. My journey with Sunday Night Live actually started with me launching something that I called Support Life. And I'm probably not going to call it that anymore, but just hold that, set it aside. It doesn't matter what I call it. I want you to hear what I discovered about myself. I never realized I had a purpose. I didn't realize that there was something that I was uniquely qualified to do and that made my soul sing when I did it. Had a few things at work that I realized I really enjoyed them. I realized that, wow, I'm pretty good at this. I'm good at facilitating meetings. I'm good at getting work groups that are in disagreement, that are fractured, work groups that struggle, bosses and employees that can't get along. I was good at bringing them together and having meaningful conversations. And I loved doing it. But where my purpose really hit home for me was when I was walking with my sister on the journey of her husband being severely ill, and then ultimately her being faced with the decision about whether to disconnect him from life support. The stakes are high, right? But I discovered on that journey, and I've shared that in the past, and I'll be sharing it coming up too, and I'll make sure you know when I do. When I entered that season of my life and really began to listen to what God was telling me about how to use my gifts and my strengths and my talents to help somebody else who was going through something really, really difficult. I couldn't walk that path for her, but I could help her as she walked that path. And understanding what was helpful was the key. Understanding what is helpful is the key. We are all wired to help. God designed us all to help. We are called to help. Our purpose is, in many respects, designed for us to help others. It's not just for us to feel good about ourselves. Our purpose always involves other people. How are you helping? And so, as I was faced with this dilemma, how do I help my sister as she walks through this incredibly difficult journey? How do I help her? I had a total misunderstanding of what help looked like, you guys. A total misunderstanding. I thought that helping my sister meant that I would give her good advice, that I would tell her what I thought was the best thing for her to do next. I thought that it meant that I had to be right all the time. So I had to be super, super careful about anything I said, because if I was wrong, it could have dire consequences. And then my misunderstanding of what helping was became a burden. Mary says this, I grew up believing and was told that since I did not go to college, I was not worth much. Wow, Mary. But I do not believe that anymore. I am so glad about that. I did not know that I have a gift of being kind as a caregiver. It does not take a degree to be nice to people. Mary, you hit the nail on the head. You have a gift of kindness, and your kindness allows you to help people in some really specific situations as a caregiver. That's wonderful. You've connected with your purpose. And isn't it interesting that it had nothing to do with your college education or a degree or a title? It had everything to do with you being kind and recognizing that you were good at it and choosing to do it more. Mary, that's amazing. It's pretty cool too, because what you are talking about, that you being a caregiver to elderly people or to people who are ill, allows you to use your gifts and it feels easy to you. It comes naturally to you. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I found that when I understood what my gifts were, it was much easier for me to help my sister. Much easier for me to help her on her journey. What is actually helping? Helping is not showing up and trying to do something that we're not qualified to do, that we have no idea how to do, that we are miserable doing. And sometimes I think, and here's where we get to the hurdles part, you guys. Sometimes I think, I know this is true for me, that we do not help people in our strength zone, doing the things we're good at, because we're afraid. We're afraid of, and there's a whole list of things. What are you afraid will happen if you were to start using your gifts to help somebody? Maybe your gift feels weird. Maybe you never thought of kindness as being a gift. But Mary, you're exactly right. It is. When I was faced with helping my sister and I did not know how to help her, I actually called out to God and said, what do I do? What do I tell her? I don't know anything about this. I'm not an expert in people who are ill. I'm not an expert in how to help people who are helping people who are ill. And God spoke so clearly to me, that voice inside, and you may have heard that voice. I don't know if you knew it was God or not, but that voice that just gives you that moment of clarity. And God said to me, use your best gifts. And I immediately knew what my best gifts were. I was reminded of how much I loved helping those challenged work groups, how much I loved facilitating meetings where we got a lot done and I didn't have to give my opinion at all. All I had to do was make sure that everybody was heard. And immediately I knew I'm a facilitator. And so when I went to help my sister, I started walking in my purpose. My purpose is to facilitate. I facilitate people becoming who they want to be. I hold space for people who need a little bit of breathing room so they can make a decision. I ask them questions that allow them to get clarity about what they need to do next. When I began walking in my purpose, I discovered that I did not have to have all the answers. All I needed were the right questions. And that, my friend, is the same for you. One of the hurdles that keeps us from walking in our purpose is this fear that we don't know enough. And I want you to know 100% you know enough. Like Mary said, it's not about a college degree. Mary, you knew you were kind and that you know how to be kind, and you started using your kindness to help. You're walking in your purpose. I knew that I knew how to be a good facilitator, a good coach, if you will. I didn't even really know that phrase at the time. I knew that I could coach people to help them to have clarity, to help them to lead themselves and others well. I still know that I am able to inspire people to take action where they used to be afraid. I know this is true and it brings me great joy. I am walking in my purpose using my gifts. I am helping in my strength zone. Carol says, my work. Carol's work, you said your work is something that you do well. You do it better than everybody else without trying so hard. Like it just seems like you're head and shoulders above before you even start learning. That is a beautiful thing. How can you use that to help? Philip, what are you good at that you can use to help? Because when we start using our gifts, our skills, our talents to help others, we start walking in our purpose. It might not be a lightning bolt that comes at us from the sky and all of a sudden we go, oh my gosh, there's my purpose. It's not like that. Samantha, what are you good at? And how are you using that to help? Where do you lose track of time? Where do you get so excited that you forget yourself? Where are you just good at something? How can you use that to help? Because when we use those gifts to help others, we are walking in our purpose. Does this make sense to you? Is this resonating? Let me know if it is. Give me a thumbs up or a heart or drop it in the comments. What's being stirred up for you as we talk about purpose and what it is and how we can start walking in it? And then we come to this question again. What's preventing you from walking in your purpose? I can tell you one of the things that prevented me from walking in my purpose. I was operating under the misguided assumption. It was a very limiting belief, and it was also misguided. I thought that I had to be good at everything. I thought I had to be good at everything. And so if I was a really good facilitator, but I was not a really good party planner, I felt like that until I, raised up my skills there, or this one's actually closer to home. I was a really good facilitator and I was a terrible, I can't even think of the word, accountant, if you will. Doing the math and keeping track of money, not my thing. I felt like that I couldn't be a great facilitator. I needed to put more effort into being a better accountant. But that's not the case. I was misguided and I wasted a lot of energy trying to get good at something that I didn't like and that I was never going to be great at when I could have been putting that energy into doing what I love and getting really great at it. So Carol says, you are great at teaching us how to facilitate. Yay! I am glad you think that because I'm passionate about it. So love Saturday mornings, live stream leadership, you guys, it is the place to be. You've taught us that when we are in charge of a project, it is much less stressful to facilitate and delegate rather than doing it all ourselves. A lesson, Carol, that I learned the hard way by trying to do everything myself. And I'm still practicing delegating. So now I realize that I can facilitate a really great meeting, but if there are some financial details that go along with it, I need to delegate those. So what an eye opener, Carol says. You have saved me so much stress and it helps the outcome of the project be so much better. That feeds my soul, Carol, because equipping people to facilitate is part of my purpose. Helping people to learn to delegate is part of my purpose. And so I'm going to call back to what I talked about. I think I posted in a little post on my Facebook page. I don't know if you saw it. But it's time. It's time for Shannon to start walking a little bit further into her purpose. Carol says we don't have to be good at everything. Amen. Amen. We can be great at some things, good enough at some things, and everything else we can delegate. I love it. So, speaking of my purpose and what I'm good at helping people find their purpose, walk in their purpose. I'm good at facilitating and teaching people and coaching. These are all right in my wheelhouse, you guys. I love it. And I am getting ready to use those skills to equip people to be better helpers themselves. We all need to learn to use our gifts, our talents, and our abilities to help someone else. And I'm not talking about just charity. I'm talking about doing what we love for people who appreciate it. I'm getting ready to partner, to collaborate, better word. I'm getting ready to collaborate with a friend from Ohio. She recently, for the past several years, has walked out a journey of being a caregiver to her husband as he had dementia. And this gave her a heart to serve caregivers, to help other people who are caregivers to be equipped, to be well equipped. And Mary, it's so great that you talked about how you are a caregiver and that's one of your gifts. Well, I'm walking in my purpose and I'm going to be using my gifts and my talents to help people like you, Mary, to be better caregivers and to be caregivers, whether you're a person who's paid to be a caregiver or you're a person who is taking care of a loved one. So I am collaborating with my friend Anita from Ohio, who has learned just amazing lessons through her journey caring for her husband with dementia. She lost her husband, Tom, 6 months ago. And she's written a book designed to help people walking through that dementia journey with their loved ones. What a powerful, powerful thing she's doing. I'm so honored to be able to bring my Thrive and Change principles to come together with some of her principles and the things she's learned. And together, we are going to equip people who want to help caregivers. I want to help people to be helpers. Help the helpers. Mary, you are a caregiver and you are helping others give care, right? You're helping family members. You're a part of a network of people. We each have something that we can bring to help somebody who is taking care of someone else, who is trying to minister to others, who is trying to serve others, help others. And so this new program that we're going to be launching is going to do exactly that. There's an element that will allow people to learn about themselves so that they understand where are their gifts and talents? What is their personality style? What kind of a helper could I be? And then there will be some more specific things and tools for people who are specifically dealing with a family member who is at the end of their life, who has gone through a dementia journey. Those kinds of really heavy but important times in people's lives. When I saw people walking that path alone with a husband who was sick, or a parent who was dying, or they were caring for a child who had special needs, when I saw those people in the past, the hurdle that I had to helping them was that I didn't know where to start. I didn't think I was qualified. I thought I'd have to have a whole different skill set than what I had. I was afraid. Hurdle after hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. What I discovered when love drove me to push past my fear, when my love for my sister and my brother-in-law gave me the courage I needed to help. And then I realized that I could help using the gifts, the talents, the skills, the abilities that I already had, that's what I was supposed to use to help. I wasn't supposed to go grab Missy's gifts and use Missy's gifts. I was supposed to use mine and help the way I was designed. And when I realized that, whew, all of a sudden, the fear, instead of crippling me and stopping me, my purpose came to the forefront. And my purpose is what gave me courage to get through that fear. I want you to know you were designed for a reason. You have gifts, talents, abilities that God gave you. You are uniquely you. How are you using what you've got to add value to other people? When you do that intentionally, you are beginning to walk in your purpose. And if you are already doing it, then you know what I'm talking about. You go to bed at night fulfilled. You have a smile on your face and think, wow, that training that I gave to the public health department in the middle of COVID that allowed them to be able to connect and communicate with each other better, using my gifts, my skills to help. When I went to bed at night, I felt so good. I knew that I was doing what I do best and it was making a difference. Mary, you know, you are doing what you do best and it's making a difference. It's significant. When we walk in our purpose, we open up the possibility of legacy. Legacy is when your gifts go far beyond your lifetime. When the gifts that you've used have impacted people in such a way that it doesn't just help you and your immediate family, it helps their children and their children's children. There is nothing more powerful than being able to support somebody who is caring for a loved one who is dying, who is suffering, who is struggling. When we can learn how to use our gifts to help them to do the hard work that they've been called to do, when we can do that, we are talking about a legacy impact, you guys. A legacy impact that extends far beyond just me going to bed at night and feeling good about what I've done. When I can help somebody who's struggling and doesn't know what to do next, when I can help them get the clarity they need to know if they need to talk to the doctor, or if they need to go to a mental health professional, or if they need to call a counselor, or if they need to go and sign up for college, when I use my gifts and talents to do that, and they get the clarity they need to make the decision they need to make, and it's the right one, that impacts their families, that impacts the people that they love, that impacts their grandchildren. Don't get me started on my purpose, you guys. When I equip somebody to communicate better, to be able to connect with the people they love, to be able to take conversations that were full of animosity and misunderstanding, and when I can equip you with some skills that allow you to be able to have a clean conversation, a productive conversation, an honorable conversation, what kind of legacy impact does that have? I'm walking in my purpose. What is your purpose? And are you walking in it? Are you helping others with it? Whew. I am so excited to be able to share in the coming days and weeks what exactly this program looks like. If you are a caregiver or if you know caregivers and just want to be able to help sometimes, you just want to be able to help that person who's been up at the hospital for 6 months straight with their daughter who's got leukemia. If you want to be able to help them and you don't want the fear to stop you, the fear of saying the wrong thing, the fear of getting over involved, the fear of not knowing what to do, if you are ready to get past that fear and learn how you can use your strengths, your gifts, your talents to walk in your purpose, to help in the way God created you uniquely to help, then you are going to want to stay tuned. You're going to want to keep close to the Thrive and Page Change. Watch your email. If you are not on my email list, you will want to get on my email list. And you can send me a Facebook message with your email so that I can put you on the list, because we're going to be announcing what those trainings look like. They are initially, the first ones are free. So we're in a pilot, so you could be part of something really cool. We would love to be able to let you learn as we learn and grow as we grow. But definitely stay close because this is going to be a great journey. And it's not just about you. In fact, it's not about you learning to do what I do at all. It's about you learning to use what you do in a way that's going to help. And that's going to be you walking in your purpose. Oh, you guys, I'm super excited. Oh, Mary says, so glad to hear this. I'm glad you're here to hear it, Mary. Carol's just got practical here. She says, your suggestion of paper products at holidays was a great tip so we could enjoy our parties better. Simple is better. Isn't that the truth? And helping each other. And this is what we do here on Sunday Night Live. We do this in Livestream Leadership, in our leadership mastermind for women. What we do is we bring honor to every conversation, and we try to help people see what matters and how do we keep that first thing first, and how do we simplify things so we don't get confused. How do we walk in our purpose and let all that other stuff fall away? How do we be the best mom, the best grandma, the best supervisor, the best owner that we can be? I love it. Carol says this, talking about purpose. We took care of our parents and our moms were on hospice in our home. There is so much involved. Yes. And Carol, this is what my friend Anita and I have talked about, is coming together and helping people like you who maybe aren't professional caregivers, but have a situation where they are caregiving. And how can we help them in a way that's respectful, honorable, that's appropriate, and that's truly helpful? That's what we're talking about. Help. So there's more people who can pitch in and help bear the load. There's some things only you can do, right? There's some things only you can do when you're caring for your mom who's on hospice. There's some things only you can do. But there are many other things that somebody can do to help you. And for me, that's asking questions in an honorable way, helping people get clarity. For somebody like Mary, it's being kind, and those acts of kindness that sustain them. When we come together as a community to use our gifts and talents to walk in our purpose, to help each other and to help others, all those needs get met. Oh, it's beautiful. Missy says, wow, this has sparked something huge in me tonight. So grateful for your honesty and passion. And yours, Missy. And I am grateful for yours. Carol says, thank you for tonight. What a blessing. Well, thank you. Thank you all. If you are not on my Thrive and Change email list, just send me a Facebook message with whatever email you want. I'll put you on. We're getting ready for a fun ride, and I am excited to take this next stage of my journey into my purpose, revisiting what was birthed in me 6 years ago. The principles that we talk about, the Thrive and Change principles, were born as I was walking out my purpose, and God showed me, this is what's happening here, and you're not the only one who can use these principles. And so that's why tonight we are #Bring the Honor, because of that revelation I had about my purpose. So you're no different than I am. You are no different than I am. You have a purpose. You have unique gifts, talents. You are uniquely you. This week, I encourage you, use what you're good at to help somebody else. And make a note of what happens inside of you. And feel free to share the results. I would love to know, what is that like for you to use what you're good at to help somebody else? All right. You guys are amazing. Thanks for hanging with me. Share this with people, because people need to learn how to be a helper in their strength zone. They need to learn how. So this is so critical. When we each get good at this, our world gets to be a better place, and we have legacy impact. What an amazing thing. Okay, I'm done. I love you all. Goodbye.